got everything pretty much ready. Maybe an interesting day, but not too for sure. But pretty simple to remember that we do have the gap.
Absolutely want to de-escalate situation with Trump
We are
ongoing.
well below prior week's low. So as of right now, this is considered a turn this down. As of right now, this would be considered a fairly bearish open and posture under prior week's low. Go ahead and remove this and this as well. We got the opening in about a minute and a half. I've already done a good bit amount of prep. I really just need to remember that we're looking at a fairly high VIX. That's the daily candle. We're gonna stick to the micro S&P 500 for sure. We're gonna hold off on the Nasdaq since we're gonna be moving on a good bit. It really just depends on the trade style. But as of right now, we definitely see that we have tech leading down, which is fairly obvious. We don't have to single anyone out. We had a few bank earnings. Other than that, no one is really holding the fort down on the positive side outside of energies. It's going to take more than energies to do anything for that. We do have gold and silver still thumping upwards, of course, and we have Bitcoin taking a drop as well. So no surprise if we are to start off with a directional open lower. We'll see. And we can't forget that there was the um, uh, half day. I was going to say minimum day like school, but a half day for the holiday on Monday. So we'll see how we start. No specific price right now. Not in too big of a rush. I do want to just let the open kind of do what it does. So we'll see. And roll. This can get pretty violent. So we're gonna let things breathe. Release that to the. This is gonna be DQ, so we're just listening to tech at the moment. Fairly big drop in volatility for the VIX. I mean, yeah, that opening print was it's about 70 points or so. And just a reminder for myself not to get fooled with the actual size of the bars. As volatility increases, it may look similar to, oh, that should be, a few ticks, but it's actually, multiple points. So we had an open drive, directional open for the first minute bar, and then the NQ essentially just reversed, took out that low. So we definitely want to be mindful of a open auction. RTY just dipped under that CPI low. And I made sure that I put in my lockout for today. Because, this is definitely a day where it can get dicey. And I don't even want to, definitely don't want to play with that. Try a self stop here, seeing as ES is kind of spooling at its lows. And again, I do remember this is top step and it's simulated at least here, even on the express account, so the fills wouldn't necessarily be the exact same. Just something to be mindful of. Looks like technology is holding their own again. And then let's see how this goes. They never did break that low. So as of right now, we're looking at a open auction. For the S&P 500, they're still under that initial balance mid, and we have the open for the NQ. Bounced lower, broke that low, spooled at the open, and now they're pushing this high on making it back to the 300. So that's from the 315s. Okay. A good upward thrust for about 20 points. They pushed up, pulled back, and still holding those highs for the most part. So it looks like that prior, the settle is actually up here. I'm not gonna worry about the settle.
And more from Greer speaking on the EU trade deal says it does not fix US agricultural.
I'm not gonna forget that we have those orders out here. I'm in no rush to jump in front of this. Again, we did have the 138-minute candle that was turned into an engulfing bar. And it's now turned into, I guess this should be a down spike, or I'm not sure what this type of candle is called, like a hammer or whatever. Okay, so yeah, they were able to hold those highs. They gave up the last few seconds. Now that's the first 5-minute candle, and they actually held that open drive. So we're still looking at a directional open for the NQ, just like a little bit of a fake out. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna leave these two in there. Still open, directional open for the S&P 500 as well. Has some old singles that's been cleared up. And that was a good pullback from that November low. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a bit bullish here on both sides, but that was definitely a decent reaction. These are somewhat older fib zones that I have. Not fib zones, but some of these are fibs, but just area of interest in general. So as of right now, we're looking at the directional open, but we're definitely pulling back a bit. So this just may be just some wide-ranging open auction. We're opening under, this would be a gap down for the ES, even compared to the holiday trading. But we're opening at the bottom of the range for the NQ. So again, no surprise if we see a bit of an open auction. High delta, high positive delta on both sides. Definitely got a lot of force. Again, those first 2 days were, yesterday and today, are going to be merged as one holiday. Again, overlapping bars. Some more of a directional open. Looks like an open test drive somewhat. But it's looking like a possible open auction for ES. Unless they can muster up this energy to sustain upwards. So since the open, again, we have RTY. Looks like they're still pushing. Definitely going to be the stronger. And weakness looks like it's coming from discretionary. Energy actually ended up flipping, which is somewhat surprising, but they're not, too weighted heavily. I'm gonna go ahead and do a new checkpoint here at the 638. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to see how we're moving, who's doing what. Got some people that are chasing here. Ended up moving. 85. Yeah, so they hit that 85, and then I mean they're still spooling there. I mean that's not a bad look. They're still spooling there. So I'll try one.
Order filled.
But yeah, that's just not looking good. The 82s. Really shouldn't drop below those 80s. Which would be under that VWAP. Yeah, they're pulling up volume here. We got a passive person there. Possibly distributing. Yeah, I got out. So indeed, maybe that open auction that we were looking at. Open auction, rather. So we'll see what happens when they break this low. Have a discrepancy in the prices. Yeah, we're not even looking at the the NQ right now.
More from Chancellor Reeves in the UK says joining the EU Customs Union.
Make sure we give ourselves a chance to survive. Actually use multiple lots.
And more from Greer says US trade deficit with EU. They see the US trade deficit.
We got some passive players in here. Their volume spools up pretty hard and it's just stationary. They're both looking a little leaning lower. Yeah, I was looking at buying. If this is going to be an open auction, you would assume that this is going to return back to the initial balance mid and maybe kind of hang around there. But we'll see. Yeah, we definitely did a good job of going ahead and accepting that stop earlier. Once it got under those 80s, we definitely run into a little bit of trouble. Buyer shouldn't really have let it go. If this is not going to be an open auction, they would have kind of pushed that and kept that directional open, but it doesn't appear there was too much urgency with that. But again, it's only been, a few minutes. And given that trade location is literally the worst trade location. So that's not something that we would want to hold.
From MLK Day, lower S&P 500 down around 1.4%. Nasdaq 100 come lower down by 1.5%, and Russell 2000 down by around 1.2%. Sentiment is weighed by renewed concerns over EU and US trade relations.
Very
Australia
well
is
could go
determined
higher
to
or lower.
Greenland. In terms of sectors, we are red almost across the board. One outperformer is seen in energy, posting some gains as crude prices inch higher over the day. So crude coming up around by 90 cents a barrel. Not been too much specifics behind the move, but we did see recently Chevron's 10 gigs cancelled loadings of 5 CPC blend oil cargoes, as well as announcing it will be shut in for a few more days. So we have seen crude prices extend on that. Elsewhere, communications, discretionary, and tech are the biggest laggards of the day. In the FX, dollar is sold as participants look to diverse away from the dollar amid the continued trade conflict, while the yen seems some relative underperformance following continued political uncertainty. Treasuries have been lower as the Saudi America trade is seemingly in play again, albeit the move is aligned with global weakness in fixed income, led by JGB pressure on the Takaichi trade being enforced, given the formal election announcement on Friday with upcoming polls on 8th of February.
Good morning.
And just going back to UK Chancellor Reeve says not in Britain's interest not to engage with China.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Update from New Zealand GDT, that's up 1.5%, so easing from the prior up 3.6%, comes in at 3,615.
All right. Okay, so I ended up making a new high. What was the response? Definitely an aggressive seller, but it doesn't mean that we're gonna stick to the selling now. Depends on what the buyers do from the situation. I'm gonna go ahead and clear out the delta. We know we have a lot of aggressiveness here and there. Volume is definitely really nice. As long as the buyers are able to hold the initial balance mid, that's not a bad look. But ideally, if it drops under that VWAP, buyers would ideally want to see that kind of snap back.
Welcome to Price Squawk.
That's that VWAP.
Once again, US Trade Representative Gray just reiterating there are alternatives if the tariff tools.
Yeah, there's a lot of buyers on that that breakout that failed.
For the situation that the US faces.
Definitely a nice 15-minute candle though. For a directional open for the buyers to see if they hold it. We're back in that same position. Everyone's negative again. We got some passive sellers trying to chase it down. They're not getting filled. They being patient. Not too much urgency on the sell side. Again, we're at that full session VWAP. I definitely want to do a different account for trading the open. And this is definitely a buyer shut off, so you may have some loss of hope here for some buyers because this is some heavy buy delta. Three-minute close, engulfing candle. Let's see the response. Get some water. And again, a lot of this is just really just overlapping bars, so we're still seeing more of the open auction. When they have an opportunity to do a breakout to the upside, it's met with immediate selling, and then on the most recent breakout, turn into an engulfing bar, which would be like a buyer shut off. And now we're sitting here at the kind of heading back to the open to see if we're gonna find some more buyers. This is a pretty high delta positive open. So definitely a lot of effort. I want to see if the 78 fills and what's the response. But it's gonna be the end of the 5-minute candle. Backfield. And pushing back up, looking for some more.
So folks, we have around 10 minutes now to the top of the hour, and we are due to get an update from the Supreme Court today.
Maybe accepting those prices lower. I'm staring at the 78s.
On the tariffs from the Trump administration. However, as we have been doing,
maybe a good idea to enter there. This was live. It may or may not have been filled.
On the Trump tariffs.
No one's trying to sell under those 80s is what it looks like. You already got NQ leading this way out. Again, that high on the NQ is 57. Oh. I'll try on this because this is just fairly aggressive, more than what I would be expecting. Alright, I just put that break even. Just want to see what was going to happen. Yeah, they're still holding those 57, so yeah. I mean, I guess I'll try this one more time. I still feel uncomfortable doing this. But I mean, we got in at the 87s. But I mean, we have passive sellers. This has been looking like it's been a open auction for the most part, but we are at the highs. So we'll see. If these were expensive, we wouldn't be back up here. So, we'll kind of see. See if that 84 fills. Back at that IB mid. Another 25 seconds. Go ahead and take that. Shouldn't be struggling. You would assume this would be a straight release that'll get us back, kind of clear us up. Just a little scalp. And go ahead and take this off. Interesting candle structure for the NQ. The high is really at 70. NQ is nowhere close near there. That 300 mark, which is where their DGPs are. So again, since that high a while ago, ES took a break, and that was finances primarily and discretionary. They're actually holding, so I mean, yeah, it'd be a good idea for you to get back in, but I'm gonna wait. There's a bit of a release. Look at this channel. I mean, that's technically bullish because they're channeling higher, making higher highs and higher lows. So, I mean, say what you will, but this is for sure like an open auction. We got another 5 minutes. Another 5 minutes that'll end that bracket. I would imagine we're gonna see at least upwards because all this gap down and this continuing lower, we're not seeing any sort of acceptance of lower prices. Unless you're trading an overnight session. So again, we're looking at an open auction for the S&P 500. We got a, um, uh, I mean, it just feels like a skew higher for open auction for because you got overlapping bars for the NQ. I mean, this type of day, I can't really tell, but it looks like more of like an outside in. Doesn't mean just fade to edges, but you may have to kind of.
Just again, I want to reiterate, we do get these Supreme Court updates at the top of the hour. Desk getting a few questions. There is no guarantee that there will be the tariff updates within this Supreme Court opinion update, which is due at the top of the hour. Just in terms of what we're seeing at the moment, apparently 2 boxes incoming, so 4 decisions could be, or 4 opinions could be dispatched at the top of the hour. But again, want to reiterate with emphasis, there is no guarantee we will get these tariff updates.
Okay, there we go. So you may have some people kind of moving around just to de-risk.
Market open. Price squawk.
Alright. So we're at those high 77s and Q's at the possible buy zone. Got the VWAP, the VPOC. You got the initial balance mid as well, and at 5 smoothing average. ES definitely likes this range as well. These high 70s, low 80s. So wouldn't be surprised if we kind of poke a little lower again and hang around these prices to the 7 o'clock. Snow 7 o'clock data or anything like that.
for CVX Chevron. According to press reports, reportedly they are in talks with Turkey for a joint oil and gas exploration.
All right, we'll go ahead and do another checkpoint here, 6:58. This pretty much is going to lead us to the 7 o'clock again. They mentioned something about the Supreme Court notes, but it doesn't mean they're going to be ruling on the tariffs. But I wouldn't be surprised if we're expecting it for 2 weeks in a row, and then when we're not expecting it, actually comes out. So we just want to position ourselves just to kind of wait and see. But as of right now, we are getting a reaction from that zone that we were looking at. Again, I think it's important for us to just go ahead and put on risk and not be afraid to do it, and just try it and see what happens. But that definitely made sense. Trade is gone. It is what it is. But as of right now, we're still looking at a directional open for the NQ because we're closing at these highs. ES, we're still looking at more of a directionless, looking more of at the open auction. But as we're finishing this bar, we're starting to retrace back to this initial balance midpoint. And again, we can't forget that yesterday there was no gap fill, though it was a trend higher day for both products, and we're just accepting prices on the lower part of that range, halfway to midpoint for the NQ, and we can't stay above the prior day's low for ES. We're gonna get another copy here at the top of the hour. As again, everyone's still red.
More commentary from the USTR. Europe's reliance on Russian oil is dissonant to him.
The market is open.
That was definitely top step. All right, that's 7. Doesn't appear to be anything related to the tariffs at all. Make sure we have our OCOs in case we get filled. If it snaps back into the 80s, we'll get taken out. So again, we ended up with the open auction for that first bracket, and looks like an open test drive possibly for the NQ. We got finances. That's definitely showing some weakness alongside the discretionary. Tech is trying to get out of here, but everyone else is really just hanging on to where we were at the open. Not really much has been done. We tried to do some price discovery higher, and we found our way coming back down. In this column, nothing has really been happening too much. So, we'll see. ES has never checked and see what was under that low. If we do break under there, no surprise if we get an initial reaction of, people taking profits. There's been a lot of sellers at the top. You'd imagine their target would be at least the initial balance low, but we'll see. Again, this will be a simulated fill. Shit, in real, who knows? I could get filled somewhere like around the 69s if this was the S&P 500 on the micro. So just to be mindful of that.
More from USTR. Europe, US will be a great source of energy for Europe.
This is exactly what I mean.
The market is open. Order filled.
Got out of one of those just in case. Does that stay here? It does. It does. Okay. It rearranges. Cool. Just wanted to see what would happen with that stop. If I removed it, instead of it being at 10 points, it stayed at 20 points. Or it went from 10 points to 20 points. Again, we're just hanging out this low. How much that ended up being? A point. Really don't like how we're just sitting here. But we did remove some of our risk.
For NESNSW, according to reports, French regulators are probing Nestle's baby formula after an infant death.
Give this a little bit of room. It's the first time that we've been down here. So literally they're negotiating. But of course tech is nowhere near their lows. They're just at their VWAP. NQ is back at that number that they like, the 300. Coming from the downside. Got real quiet once we got down here. Alright, that's been 5 minutes. Yeah, if this would have been live, we definitely would have got filled like around 68, 67. So I wouldn't have been surprised. NQ had a bit of a stop run there. Trading above that area that they like. ES hasn't had a chance to get back to those 79s. Had we stayed into those two contracts, that would ended up getting us stopped out around these 81s. Or alive, you know, we definitely would have been stopped out. That'd have been a 2, that'd have been 100 right there. Given the bad fill price and just this retracement that we're seeing. But again, we're not too surprised given the open auction. Possibly would have been a little better to wait to see the reaction that we would have got, but you know, you learn, you take notes. But they're not able to get back to these low 70s. Wasn't a crazy amount of selling there. Can even see. So we haven't had any kind of aggressiveness to the downside yet. Go ahead and clear this up. And so we're still looking about the same here. First time getting back to this open. Whoa. I'm not sure what happened there. Doesn't appear to be any news or anything. So again, same thing that we've seen before. No update. I don't think anyone was really surprised at this point. Tempo definitely changed. If we don't get a release, we're gonna have to get out of this. Nope, not like an amount. Even though we could have waited, we definitely should have waited. It's just top of that candle. We're just gonna get out. I don't feel comfortable in this. This is still looking like the open auction. Ideally, you would buy this as well, but to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't feel comfortable buying this or selling this. I don't know. So I'm gonna just wait. It's okay to say I don't know. You can't get you can't get a decent read on this, but I haven't had good trade location, and I had a good bit of confidence to actually be passive and buy or sell at some areas where it made sense. Since we were coming from the downside, it would have been better to sell, you know, the areas in these 80s and then these 300s for tech and the spoos, but we just didn't. Oh man, voice. All right, but what we've seen for the session so far has been, you know, just open auction for the most part. You know, that doesn't appear to be happening right now. Once we hit these lows, we've pretty much stuck to these lows. We tried to push up and we rejected the VWAP bands. So as of right now, this may be the market kind of hinting that they're looking to go lower and accept lower as we make another new low. But is that something that's going to be sustained? Who knows? But the overnight low is a good bit of points away. So really no surprise on either side. So open auction first bracket. Trying to test a little lower on the ES, and NQ is still looking at the same open auction for the most part. Um, I don't think anyone has an advantage. You have the Bears who has a gap down, the continuation with yesterday, and the acceptance of prices lower for today. And then you have the Bulls who had a trend day yesterday, which was relative to, you know, the gap down, and they really didn't get much traction. And there's no downside for this RT8 session as of right now. So no one really has control. They were looking for that Supreme Court decision. No decision, tempo change. We accepted prices a little lower. So I mean, as of right now, nothing should be changed. So we should be continuing lower, but we're not.
Some remarks here from Citigroup CEO. She says, talking about the credit card rate caps, it would not be good for the economy. She's speaking to CNBC.
And then we just get a little more news chatter with the bank stuff. Again, banks and tech are kind of going head to head. Really nothing there. Discretionary is a leader to the downside. We got communications that's still down 1%. For the ES, it wouldn't be a bad idea to maybe look at these 69s for the most part, but again, not really too comfortable with that. You know, would I be willing to wager, you know, a few of the points that we have to try it? I don't know. I don't think so. They're literally trading under their initial balance mid and they're rejecting their open, where you have the NQ who are basing at their VWAP. The better trade would be technology. But if they're having an open auction, then eventually, if that is to continue, then you would literally be buying into getting engulfed. I mean, as of right now, we're seeing everyone's kind of pointing down. It's just a bit directionless, and we have the VIX kind of picking up some as well. And if ES can hold their open at the 70s and just return back to the areas that they appreciate, I would imagine NQ would definitely push up a little higher. But as of right now, I'm not really seeing an advantage on either side. So just because we're moving and there's a lot of flickering going on my screen doesn't require me to trade anything. So we're getting ready to hit the 15 minutes. So I'll go ahead and do a fresh marker here. Hit this price squawk.
Market price squawk.
More commentary from Citigroup's chief. She says that there are no big new rounds of layoffs coming at the bank.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see if they break these 60s, if there's going to be a release. Definitely with some buyers there at those 60s. Gonna go ahead and drop this. And we're gonna clear the volume profile for both of these as well. Just want to see how we're building volume. Essentially, this is at the open of that 15-minute candle. We already know the 300s for NQ, which is what they're getting back to now, and the 80s for ES is somewhat important. You got ES is getting higher highs and higher lows out of here, and then the response We get impulsive selling. Tech appears to be rejecting that initial balance midpoint. Yeah, we're gonna have to do better. Yeah, the entry style is not gonna work with just breakouts here. We're gonna have to grow some balls, and not be afraid to jump in. All right, I pretty much broke those 60s, and they're kind of struggling. You do have volume spooling up there at the most. Yeah, you would think this would be a decent spot to buy with the stop below that low, but those stops seems like a higher chance those are going to get ran out. You may just have a flush here. It's definitely pending. You're finna have the end of this 5-minute candle. See if that 69 fills. But if we were to buy that 69s and tech does flush, let's definitely bring it down. SP 500. No one is really stepping up right now to kind of lead the charge out. Steadily leaking lower. Once they broke those 60s, they're staying here. Volume spooling. Alright. I'm gonna change price squawk, put this on the S&P 500.
Market open.
Actually, I'm gonna put this back on tech because they're the
Market
leaders. Let me
price
just
squawk.
lead us on NQ just in general. Alright, they're breaking out of those 60s. Or trying to. So again, we're still looking at an open auction. We're fiddling at this middle for the ES. Again, those 69s look like that was a good buy. Pushing up to these VWAP bands. NQ's getting back to that 300 mark. Again, this is them returning high. We can see how they're building volume. Some little humps here, little humps there. Ideally, S&P 500 doesn't want to go back to those 75s. What a move. What a move. Yeah. And this is what I mean. We really just need to have the confidence to just do it. We're seeing it and just need to do it. But I am proud that I'm catching on to these things. Again, it's just more of the open auction. You would assume this would fall its way back down. And we have to assume that unless we get an actual move out of here and it's sustained. Not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous to actually put on that risk to do so. Given as this was a solid move out of here, everyone kind of joined into the party, and that was a fairly big drop in the volatility as well. So maybe the worst is over with. At least what that would be the thought for the buyers. And we got some volume spooling up again here near these highs. Go ahead and get this back. That'll clear out that delta as well. They gotta break that. And again, if this is more of the open auction, you would assume that this is gonna fall its way back after poking above, but we'll see. Ah, oh, wasn't looking. Okay, push through. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what's up with my
Welcome
price
to
squad.
Price
It's been
Squawk.
tripping. How's R2Y looking? Nice. Trying to get that CPI. Yeah, this may be the move to get out of here. These little gaps that happens are being filled barely with a few contracts. No one's really trying to sell.
For ROGSW, Roche says its increased investment will more than double total commitment for the company's first ever East Coast manufacturing facility to around $2 billion. On the UK issuance front, the UK DMO will be selling £3.25 billion sterling of a 2033 gilt. That will be on 27th of Jan. Remarks from the USTR, where it says he may meet with Chinese officials before Trump's Beijing trip. And according to some reports, US President Trump won't be attending the emergency G7 summit in Paris. He has no plans to travel to Paris for the G7, which has been proposed by Macron, that's according to a White House official. Just to alert you on the geopolitical front, you see von der Leyen says that the bloc is preparing new Iranian sanctions over the repression. Von der Leyen is proposing Iran export ban on drones and missile technology. And from Davos, the Commerce Secretary Lutnick's just complaining again, interest rates in the US are too high. He was asked about China. Lutnick says, "I'd like the UK to be aligned with us." from Besson thinks that the US is going to grow more than 5% this Just for the cryptocurrency related traders, Kraken says it's investigating an issue where clients are unable to place futures orders via HTTP and the user interface. Just to alert you that Bank of America's CEO giving another round of comments at Davos. He does think it will be a big year for investment banking this year. He said as much in other interviews recently. For UK stocks, according to headlines, a FTSE 100 owner is considering easing entry rules for foreign firms. So a FTSE 100 owner said to be easing or eyeing easing entry rules for foreign firms.
Update on bills outside the US. The US are two $95 billion forward bills, as well as 90 billion Going back to Lutnick says if Europe retaliates with tariffs, then we will be back to a tit for tat. Update in France. So PM Le Cornu uses the constitutional powers to force the income part of the 2026 budget through the lower house without a vote. Commentary from Bank of America CEO on the US consumer. It says in the first couple of weeks of January, consumers spent 7% more than they spent last year in January. Therefore, Kaiogen is said to weigh strategic options amid fresh interest. I'm seeing a medium upside in Kaiogen, QGEN, coming up around 4.5%. Update on US bills. Sell 6-month bills with a bid to cover of 2.95 times and a high rate of 3.52%. For 3-month bills, high rate 3.59%, bid to cover 2.7 times. More from Lutnick says, does not see European trade deal changing. And Lutnick says, can disagree with allies, that does not make them not allies. Just making it where we are getting remarks from the ECB. ECB's Nagel says German government was right launching large fiscal package. Just of note for DraftKings and other betting names, so bookies.com reporting that judge allows injunction against prediction markets Kalshi from offering sports event contract in Massachusetts. We have seen upside in DraftKings shares in recent trade, likely on this report. Going back to ECB's Nagel says they are close to their price stability target. And again, just hearing from Lutnick on rates, says our rates are hundreds of basis points high. That's too high. From Lutnick says 100 basis points too high on rates. It says if you cut interest rates 100 basis points, you're going to see the US grow 6% or more. More from Lonix says they have a great economy that can handle well at lower rates. Update for Apple price cut rules. Apple can keep its ATT feature. From US President Trump on True Social, Trump says no single person or president has done more for NATO than himself. Says if he did not come along, there would be no NATO. Says it would have been the version of history. Secretary of Trump on True Social, once again just criticising NATO, says no single person or president has done more for NATO than himself. Update from the guys Just an update here from Fitch on US credit says that US credit outlook is broadly benign entering 2026, supported by AI-led capex, easing monetary policy, and strong fiscal support. They forecast GDP growth of 2% in 2026, expecting the Fed to cut rates twice in the first half of the year. And just making you aware, we're getting remarks from the US Energy Secretary, says they are in early stages of Greenland negotiations. More from the US Energy Secretary says on Greenland there is uncertainty, but they will get to a great result.